Hello everyone, we're back at it with another video, and today we have a German helmet right here. So this is a reproduction helmet. I modified it a little bit by adding some more camouflage around here. You guys can see. Yeah, pretty neat. This is what the paint originally looked like, and yeah. But the reason why I painted over this is because it didn't have too much camouflage on there. And another thing is that the sun kept glinting off the paint, so it made it super shiny in front of the sun. So I decided to spray paint it and hand paint it too. And so the green helps it camouflage with all the trees, like pine trees and stuff. The red helps it camouflage in the fall. And yeah, I'll update you guys once I start getting some other mods on there. I'm thinking about maybe adding a chicken wire on there and sticking grass and stuff in between. And that will definitely help it camouflage, because any good sniper or, military guy knows that the best camouflage is the things around you. So yeah, we'll take a look on the inside. I'm pretty sure this is a M42, but I'm not exactly sure. There's the serial number to trace back to the guy who originally made this reproduction. Now, if this was original, this would be kind of the only stamp right here. So this right here, ET is the maker right there, and then 68 is the shelf size. 68 is quite rare for, German helmets, because normally they'd come in 62, 64 at average. But yeah, 68's kind of giant for a shell. But surprisingly, it fits me, so yeah. So this is more of the bigger shells, so many people could wear it. It perfectly fits me. I just had to adjust the chin strap right here. Admittedly, this is kind of a cheap reproduction. I mean, the leather's not high quality. The chin strap's already falling apart, kind of ish. Probably could fix that up, but yeah. They didn't make this too well, so yeah. Could even see the aluminum buckles are kind of cheap. I feel like they're just gonna fall apart at any second, but yeah. And then what I ended up doing to fix most of these problems is that I added some newspaper in between there, if you guys could see that right there. I added newspaper to insulate the helmet. You guys could add more, but yeah. And then for the leather, I added some boot conditioner, and it's basically fat or grease. You guys could do that with your liner and leather and all that. Another problem that I had was here, you guys can see this leather rope. So originally it had the same type of leather to use for the liner. The problem with that rope that I had was the rope was too thick and also was kind of crappy. So I added in my own little leather rope. If you guys want, you could use cotton, but I don't really like cotton because they're kind of hard to untie. But yeah, you guys can either choose leather or cotton. If you have a good cotton cord, use it. But if you have leather at hand, like I do, use the leather. Then another thing I had was some of the little divots right here didn't have leather fully cut out. So, there'd still be a thing plugging up the vent holes there. And so I had to go back with a razor and cut it out. And yeah, that's kind of the problem there. Another thing that I had a problem with is the loose little, what do you call these, split pins. Yeah, these are very loose. And the reason why is that they're not properly secured in here. because they didn't make this one piece, or at least, you know, bent this in place right. And in fact, I lost one of these because they got loose and then slipped off. But yeah, lesson noted, go back and fix the liner. So if you guys ever get a reproduction helmet, I suggest that you tighten up all the split pins, condition the leather nicely. Yeah, I made this way much more softer after using the boot conditioner. If you guys want, you could age your helmet. I'm going to do this naturally, so I could kind of make a time-lapse video out of this. And yeah, for the paint technique, what I ended up doing here is using red paint and hand painted all this. But here, I didn't have any green hand paint, so I had to use spray paint. And so I ended up spray painting this and, you know, adding tape all over the sides to keep it in place. And while I was painting it, I added some dust along here as kind of texture and, you know, grip. And the best part about adding this texture, right, is that it makes the paint less shiny. And so with many of the helmets, you know, they had either sawdust on there or sand like this. I ended up just using regular old sand, so yeah. So you guys could texture your helmets like this. It depends on what your looks are, but yeah, you guys can definitely see that everywhere. If you guys want to know, the paint scheme I used is based on kind of the World War I type camouflage. And what it does is that it breaks up the, you know, helmet shape. And once I add on the chicken wire and then place, you know, sticks and stuff in between it breaks up the shape even more. So yeah, before you guys get angry at me and, you know, complain that this is, you know, a weird World War I camo, I actually was able to find a M42 helmet that had the same paint scheme. It looked almost exactly like this, except that it didn't have corners like this all over the helmet. It was all smoothed and rounded. But yeah, it basically had two colors like this, green, red, and a black outline. And that was about it. It had the full information. It said it was from World War II, and it was M42. And yeah, judging from it, it was, because the World War I helmets had the air vents longer right here. And some people even call them the horned helmets because of how long their little vents were on the side. And plus, the helmets were taller. But from my photo that I took on the internet, it was yeah, it wasn't tall, it was short like this, and it didn't have long vents. And yeah, even the thing said that it was from an artilleryman back in the back lines, but yeah. So this is just a simple paint scheme. You just really only need 3 colors. The camera makes this look a little bit brighter. I don't know why it looks brighter, but yeah. But tips on this: if you're going to make this helmet better, I suggest first you take a look at it, see what might be loose. Like, who knows, your buckle might be loose or cracking, or, you know, your leather might be falling apart. And if it is falling apart, you know, replace it. Rather you have a leather store near you, or craft store, or even at the simplest, a leather belt for your chin strap. But yeah, if you have any spare leather, I would suggest that you replace the liner here. In order to do that, you'll have to remove all the nails that have hammered into this, along with some cloth, but it's not too complicated. It's definitely possible and very simple the main problem that I had is that everything's kind of hard to move along, because the split pins, you have to move this middle liner out of the way. And what I used is a wedge, so you could wedge in between here while you remove all the split pins. And the split pins have a middle washer, and the split pins go through the washer and split outwards like that. And it was a pain in the butt to get that out, but yeah. But if you're ever out there actually reenacting with all this, I'd probably try and modify it more. Instead of using newspaper as, insulators, I'd probably stuff in more cloth to insulate your head. And it'll also be more comfortable for your head, so yeah, cloth is definitely an option. Another thing I want to note, the paint scheme is a little different from the original German paint scheme. If I were to, paint it like normal, I'd probably get the German field gray, but in texture. And if you don't have any textured spray paint, you could add your own texture like this while you spray paint it, or hand paint it. Depends on what you're doing. You could either hand paint your helmet or spray paint it, but yeah. And these helmets are just a simple little thing. You could add anything onto your helmet right now. You could add a helmet band to stick things in between there, or like chicken wire to add more camouflage, or even using cotton rope could help you. Even a cotton net would help, but yeah. Another thing is that you could even use these helmets for, captured things and stuff. I'm definitely going to use this in my reenactments as a captured German helmet. Guys, let me know if I should paint this over with this green paint and turn this into a Austro-Hungarian helmet, and then paint a red star on here, because I can't paint a red star with the red right here. But yeah, so that should wrap up this simple video. I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks on this German helmet, and yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.